No problem. Individual show segments are uploaded to YouTube for convenient on-demand viewing. Be sure to connect with the New Tracks community by joining the New Tracks Facebook page, where you can interact with other modelers and see what they are modeling. Visit our website at www.newtracksmodeling.com, where you'll find information about upcoming events and the latest issue of our magazine, New Tracks Modeler. New Tracks Modeler features articles from builds on the show, exciting new products, and other great articles. And now, here is the host of New Tracks Modeling, Tom Farrell.
Well, I hate to disappoint everybody, but Tom is on a little trip to the narrow gauge convention. So anyway, we're going to let Father Ron give his prayer right away. Thanks, Father Ron.
O God, as we create in miniature the world around us, may we marvel at the beauty and genius which created the world and instilled in us a portion of your great knowledge and wisdom. Give success to the work of our hands, O God. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Now I think I'll play a video of the
You're not
sponsor.
spotlighted.
Pardon me?
You're not spotlighted.
Maybe I don't want to be. Anyway, I'm going to play the video of the sponsor for our show. Just hang on.
Tonight's New Tracks Modeling Meetup is sponsored by Brennan's Model Railroading. For over 25 years, Brennan's Model Railroading has been offering unique products focused on the O-scale market. Their flagship product, Brennan's Better Ballast, was an instant hit and continues to be the industry leader. The prototypical size and natural color blend of real crushed granite make it the choice for discerning modelers. Since then, Brennan's has developed a complementary line of natural ground cover materials. Brennan's also has craftsman kits that anyone can build. The complete photographically illustrated instructions assume you've never done this before, and explain in step-by-step detail how to create an outstanding model. The Frank Ellison Tribute series of kits are amazing additions to any layout. These kits take Frank Ellison's scratch-built iconic structures to a new level using modern methods and materials with Dennis Brennan's additional details and amazing instructions. See the complete line of products on the Brennan's Model Railroading website. Use the QR code to visit.
Well, folks, hate to disappoint you, but you're going to have to look at my face for a few minutes. Anyway, I'm going to let this be an open forum tonight, and anybody can talk, say whatever you like, and talk about what's on your workbench, whatever you want to say. So it's open house tonight, man. Say what you want. Go ahead, Steve. You're pretty good at this. Huh. Unmute yourself. Steve, you're muted. There you go.
I've got a kit that Carroll Creek wants me to check out the instructions on to see if they're plain and simple so that purchasers of the kit can build it without any problem. So I've laid the kit out, and it's an open door kit. It's a boxcar, an 18-foot boxcar in ON30, and 3D printed. It's a very nice kit. My question is, and I haven't run it by Bob yet or Ryan, because it is an open door, should I put wooden floor in or not? What do you guys think? She got an open door boxcar. Put
Yes.
a wooden floor in, weather it. Now, question I have is, we're going to be looking on the inside of the boxcar, and what color do you think I should paint the inside? It would probably be a brownish color. You know, I'm not going to wood plank the sides. It's just got a plain. If you can see it, it's got.
Yes.
So this here, I could paint that a kind of a weathered, worn, you know, down black and brown, and then put on the floor a long time ago they they laser cut some wood siding, and I was going to go ahead and just put that in, so when the doors are open, it looked like this, and we would be able to see it right inside, you know. And then I was going to have like a load of you know, barrels or something inside. This is a very nice kit. It's complete with everything but the wheel sets, I think. But you know,
I know it's tedious for you, Steve, but you might want to think about just scribing lines instead of putting a whole floor down.
well, that's true, Father. But the thing is, they have already printed flooring from another thing that I thought I would try to use their product to finish off their kit. You know, again.
The reason I'm suggesting it is that you have the doors open,
Right.
and you're not going to see a whole lot of the inside of the boxcar. So you could scribe the lines, and you're not adding any more thickness to the floor by scribing a line in the floor that already exists.
Yes. That's a good, yes, I could do that. You're absolutely correct.
My way of addressing the thickness is to try using some paper textures. Use a paper texture for the floor and for the interior walls.
Another great idea.
That is.
That would be about as thin as you could get on the walls and the flooring.
And
On wood or metal?
I know a guy who can help you with the paper textures.
Yeah. It's wood sided, and it's open. The doors do not open. They're just printed open.
The floor wood?
The floor is just plain right now. There's nothing there.
What do you want, metal or wood?
With the floor?
Yes.
Well, it's probably all wood. It looks to me like the bottom of it is planked, you know.
Okay, that ought to help you out with wood. I'd use a kind of a light tan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's me.
Light tan. Okay.
Dave,
Like
do you
that,
have
not like
any
that.
do you have any intentions of putting any kind of load inside? Because
Yes.
if you did, then you can pretty much hide the floor.
Well, I was kind of going to put the load back a little bit, so you angled it and you saw it, and you still saw some of the floor, because I think that's a detail that we kind of maybe either take for granted or overlook. And with paper, it would be a real simple thing to do.
Just make sure that the load isn't so hidden that you have to get at a really acute angle to see it.
Yes. Yes.
Are the doors open on both sides?
Yes. Yes.
So you see right through. Yeah, it'd be kind of neat. Put, like you said, the loads, and I agree with the paper for the flooring, just because if you start building up the depth of the floor, it's like some cars that are available, and you have to open, then the doors can slide open, and all of a sudden you got this real thick flooring. But and also the gentleman that said the light beige, light tan, I agree with that, because they wouldn't paint the inside, and the particular sidewalls would not get that weathered. You would have scuffing on the floor and that, and close to the door.
Now, the interior of the boxcars I've seen, now they were steel boxcars, but they were always plywood.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the light tan is the way I'm going to go with this then.
Yeah.
And I've got some paper flooring or some paper siding, and I'll put that in and see how that looks.
Steve, is this your GN15? Is this
No. This is ON30.
Okay.
Regardless,
The scale can make a difference too.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah. But they're coming out with some box cars, open and closed doors, and so they gave me one to, see if
regardless
it
what you do with the floor, Steve, for the edge, manage the sill at the open door.
Mhm.
Like if you only have a piece of paper, you want to make sure that you're seeing something that is got the thickness of the door sill or something to hide that edge.
Yes. Well, right. Okay. Well, I haven't put it together yet to see how much room I have and to fit whatever I have to do inside,
Right.
So
Dave Kohler on YouTube says he always puts in a wood floor, he stains and weathers it.
okay. Well, I've got everything that I've got paper and I have the wood, so I could just lay it wood in there and see if I like it, see which one I think looks the best.
And remember, weathering is more like wear and tear, not sun exposure and heat.
Yeah.
And
So,
if it's a single sheath, you could probably put a couple of just some of your little scrap pieces, some angle bracing on the inside of the boxcar. And again, they used to put parallel boards, horizontal boards up halfway just for stuff being, banging against the side of the car to protect the framing and that. So,
well,
you only have to go a little ways on the other side of the door because as Greg said, of an acute angle looking in, but that would really make it pop.
yeah. And it's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got some real nice hinges. I mean, that's pretty detailed. If you look at that, it's got, flip over hinge and it catches on the other side. That's a very nice detail. It's well detailed. Lots of detail here.
Can I make a suggestion, Steve?
Yeah, sir. Sure.
Put a crate or box inside with a guy sitting on it.
Really? You mean a guy like this? One like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Seeing the fact that you got a load inside, and if both doors are open, then the hobo, he's got the doors open for viewing out and looking out and for ventilation.
Yeah.
Sitting back drinking a little brew, huh?
You never know.
So Steve, when are the boys planning on releasing this kit?
I do not know. He gave it to me last week. And by the way, the trucks, the wheels, and the couplers are included in this kit. Okay.
Can you show us the roof?
Say again?
Can you show us the roof? Can you show us the roof and the ends? You showed us the side and the bottom. Let's see the roof and the ends.
The roof is shaped. Okay, so you can see it's shaped. And what they've done is they have taken and they're going to cover this with, so you're going to get something like this. Okay. So you get something like that, and then you get the roof walk over top of that. So you're going to look like
nice.
Okay. So the wood on the roof, I think, is a very nice touch. Very nice touch. And it's got a lot of nice, it's got a nice picture for the instructions, which I referred to. The end pieces so it stays square. And a nice picture. The picture actually helped me locate the
Parts.
the ladders. If you can see, I put one ladder on already. And I went off the picture by counting a number of pieces of siding. So it's right up there. You can see it's like one piece. And so I just dry fit this to put it in the same spot. Now, you know, they've got a whole bunch of little pieces, all the brake wheel and.
So this is made out of rosin, is it, Steve?
No,
The rosin?
3D printed.
It's 3D printed, so you'll have to really prime it well and then paint it whatever all you're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be nice.
So I took all the pieces out of the kit, and this is what I do when I get a kit. I lay everything out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the first thing I do. And one of the things that I found I needed to do was to indicate
which is top and which is bottom.
what was the top, and of course everything else was the bottom. But I just wrote it on there, and when I paint, I'll be able to cover that up. But that was just, you know, for my own purpose. But anyway, it's not a difficult kit. It's an evening work, or you know, a couple of hours maybe with the painting.
And you just use the instructions for the reference of the photographs?
I'm sorry.
You're breaking up.
What'd you say, Jeff?
So you use the instructions for the photograph to reference the placements of the ladders then?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Because if you use them for anything more than that, I was going to take away your man card.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, that's what's on my bench.
Well, Steve, why don't you just build it for us? We can have a build along right here.
There you are.
Yeah.
Start
It'd be
building.
real nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well,
A little crazy glue will be done in no time.
Well, maybe I'll just finish it in the next 15 minutes.
That would be different.
I might do a you know, share the construction and everything later on. I don't know. I've got other projects now I'm doing. I've got to do another battery powered for this GN15 locomotive that I'm going to build. With really no building, it's just a matter of, you know, painting it. But yeah, so that's what's on my workbench, and the lighting thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Oh God.
Show them what you got.
What I got? Well,
you showed it to me a minute ago.
Last week we talked about things that we were interested in, and of course I'm redoing my lighting after 25 years, you know, with LED lights and things like that. And so they were talking about light meters. And so I said, well, I'm going to get a light meter, you know. And Dennis said, well, you know, they're like $400. Some people saying, but I went and I got one for $15 off Amazon, which all I wanted to know was, you know, how many lumens I had, and what I had now. And so I went out to the layout, and I stood at various points of the layout and got some readings, which I then recorded for the future when we do that, the lighting segment. And I hope that's soon, because I am really found out I needed this, you know. So I just, you know, and this was $15. Instructions are very, very complete. It's also reviewed on how to operate it and use it on YouTube. Very simple instructions are very good on that. Again, I'm getting ready for when we do these segments that I'm prepared. So the next thing.
Have you been able to find out or tell what the difference is between yours and the $400 ones that Dennis uses?
Yeah. $385. No, look. Dennis is a professional photographer. His would be much better than this. You know, I don't even know how to compare it. All I'm looking at is, do I have a constant lighting at the track level, or do I? And I don't even know if I put it at the track level to get the proper lighting, or do I put it on the floor? Do I put it? You know, these are all things that I want to learn about from the experts who know.
Yeah, well, I know he takes fantastic photographs and he would know all about light meters and stuff like that. I was just wondering if there was some obvious difference that you can notice between what you're using and the more expensive ones.
No, all I know is
that's good to know.
When they photographed my layout, the professionals that came, they didn't use any of my lighting. They shut all that down and had their own lighting. So you know, and when they turned their lights off, it was perfectly black until I turned mine on. So that's all I can tell you there.
One of the things I had done, Steve, when I built my layout, I had my layout's fluorescent lighting, and I had just the ordinary warm bulbs in there, or tubes. So what I did was, because when I worked in my profession, it was photography, partly photography. And I learned that you can buy a fluorescent actual daylight bulb, which gives you the proper Kelvin. And when I changed all my bulbs in my fluorescents to the daylight, I think it's 5,000 K. I got that true outdoor color. And the biggest thing I noticed is I went from a warm white, to a nice natural blue, like a little blue tint. So you got that daylight. You know, when you walk outside, you see that bright, and it's a little bit of a blue tint. So you can get bulbs that are exactly daylight color.
Yeah. Well, I have fluorescent also, which I'm converting to LEDs, you know, and I had some of those bulbs, the cool whites, the daylights, and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm going to have all the same. And again, you're talking about kelvins. Well, I don't know what a Kelvin is, to be quite honest with you. All I'm looking at this thing is, and you know, whatever it says, I want it to be consistent. So when we do this segment, I'm going to be very interested, and you know, have a lot of questions about what it should be. You know, should I be taking it at track level? Should I be taking it, you know, just holding it up like that? Now, I do know that over my operator's desk, I got the highest reading, you know, but that happens to be a single bulb with a shade over top of it, and I just put it over top of the desk, whereas the other things, the other readings were on various parts of my railroad, you know, and some of the ceilings are 9 feet, some of them are 8. And so I didn't know what the effect that was. Again, the distance between the light and the track would be less. How is that showing up on this? I have no idea. So maybe somebody can answer that. You know, I'm just looking for consistency in the lighting.
Right. When you're checking your lighting, the closer you get, it possibly could be brighter. So when you're checking your lighting on your layout, be consistent. Say, okay, I'm going to do it at 4 feet off the floor, and check that all the way around. And then go to 5 feet if you wanted to go 5 feet off the floor, and do all those readings. And then you could even go a little lower and then get a number of readings, and then try and get a consistency between all your readings.
Well, I've already made some preliminary readings, so I'm in the process of changing out to the LEDs. I want to make the readings after that and see what what the comparison is. Should be much.
You froze up on us, Steve.
And I'll be concentrating on using all the same light bulbs, the lighting fixtures also, the same lighting tubes, to maintain that constant lighting. But it's interesting. It's an interesting unknown part of the modeling that we just kind of take for granted. We don't really build a railroad with the lighting, the importance of it. Especially, we just spend hours and hours on building a model and you don't get the best appearance of it on your layout, and you really should get the best appreciation from the people that come in and look at your railroad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I say, I stay with the fluorescents, and when I ordered my bulbs, I ordered true daylight bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
They're not daylight. They're not warm white, warm cool. They're actually daylight bulbs. And the reason I came across them was when we were looking at our negatives in our photographs that I used to print, we looked, the light boxes were true outdoor light boxes. So we'd get a true color of what the outdoor color is from these light boxes. So there's like no differences.
Yeah. Now, some of my railroad has balance, has a balance that comes down. One section does. And again, the lighting that I have in the center, not over the balance part, it's going to be maybe different than the balance. I don't know. I got different readings, of course, now, but that's, do I want to take the balance down now and make it look completely different or what? I don't know.
Have you got high ceilings, Steve?
Do I have what?
High ceilings above your
9 feet.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well, then when your consideration, you've been talking about the warmth of the lighting, but it's also the broadcasting. So the higher the ceiling, you're going to get more broadcast of it may diminish a little bit in the intensity, but spreading the light out over is much better. That's a curse I got in my railroad room. I've only got about 7-foot ceilings, and then I got a trunk that runs through because all the heating and air conditioning ducts. And so right in the middle of it, and it's low.
Yeah.
So I got very poor lighting, really. I got halogen lights in there also, besides the tube lighting, but I'm not happy with it. But now I got a layout underneath. I was, gung ho to get the layout up, and now to go in and change it, it's going to be a nightmare. Because a lot of my scenery goes almost up to the ceiling, stops about 10
well,
inches.
I actually also had, Larry, I put the lighting up before I put the railroad up.
Yes.
And that created, I think that created a situation now that I'm concentrating on the lighting fixing, so I get a more constant light. Had I known that, how the layout was going to be built, I would have concentrated, the lighting over top of the layout more.
Exactly. That's a very, very good point for anybody's listening. It's just starting and deciding, what they're going to do. Get the lighting first, and of course, get your design, and then think about that when you're putting up your lighting, how you want to light it. Again, I've been through several layouts in that room, and the lighting was set up for an HO layout that I had, which was a whole different configuration and shape and everything.
Yeah.
But I just rushed ahead and put the 013 layout in. And because I had, some help putting the bench work up, and I took advantage of that when they were available and that. So what I got now is not ideal at all. So.
Now, I know this might seem like a silly question, but do you think that the scale that you that you're working in, has any effect on the lighting at all? And Gary, you may have a little input on this, being semi-professional photographer. In other words, if you're an N scale, you're looking at something this big. We're looking at something like this in O and 30, but O and 3 is bigger. So we're going to see more detail. So obviously we're going to need better lighting, I would think.
Well, when you think about lighting and how we see things, we got a bulb in the room, we look around. How we define definition of different pieces of furniture is high and low. There's shadows and there's high points. What you were saying, it kind of brought to mind, the larger the scale train, the more at some angle, it's going to produce a larger shadow on one side, unless you get the lighting sort of over crossing over one, so everything is well lit from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the scale particularly, that's got nothing to do with it.
I think, excuse me, I think another thing you got to remember is what you see and what your camera sees are totally different things. Your camera picks it up and changes it for you. I would think, wouldn't it be that right, Gary? Your camera
Yes.
takes a whole different viewpoint and your eyes take a different viewpoint. So it's not the same.
Your eyes are taking in a greater area than a camera lens is.
Yes.
Depending on the type of camera lens that you're using. But when it comes to the lighting, like Larry said, when I built my layout, my lighting was put in for the layout. When you go in, I have different lighting for the room itself, and I have a valance all the way around my layout from the ceiling down, drops down about 14 inches, so that my lighting is basically in the middle all the way around the layout. And like I can go to different parts of the layout and I get nice, consistent color there, like this nice blue tone with your daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with my lighting, with the valance, it doesn't broadcast beyond the layout itself.
Yeah.
And then as you walk into the layout, it's like a C-shaped layout. The lighting in the ceiling it lights up the area you're standing in to operate the trains. So when the layout lighting is off, I still have lighting in the room.
Steve, does this meter measure lumens and Kelvin, or what does it measure?
Just lumens.
Because temperature is going to play a role too, because in the evening time you have warm.
Go ahead, Jeff.
In the evening time you have a warmer light, and that's due to the sun shining through the haze in the ozone and the atmosphere. And so you'll have warmer tones in the evening time than at noon when the sun is directly overhead. So if you're doing directly overhead, you would want to put the meter on the track consistently around the entire layout, because that would simulate noontime in the real world. Now, if you're looking to do something, to give it a little bit of color for an evening ambiance, you would go with a warmer, which would be in Kelvin. You're looking for a warmer temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has anyone done any kind of research on using variable LEDs that can give both warm and cold and blue and so on, different kinds of colors for different types of the times of the day?
Yes,
Yes.
I just replaced all the lights in my big room, and at Home Depot I bought a floodlight that has a switch on it, and you can individually switch each light bulb to a temperature. So over my desk where I do a lot of reading and modeling, I put it more to a daylight temperature, and where in our seating area, I put it to a warmer temperature. Now, when you stand back and in the other room and look into the room, you don't see, glaring white light versus yellow lights. It's quite subtle if you keep them close, but I mean, it's quite stark. I mean, you drive by a house, it looks like they're doing surgery in there. It's just as bright. It's a different temperature. But another thing you got to think about is frequency. Light does put out a frequency, and that's why if you watch some YouTube videos, it looks like their lighting is pulsating. And it's because the light is doing one frequency while the camera is recording at a different frequency.
Yeah.
And you'll get that problem. It's same as like you're shooting video of a tractor going down the road, and it looks like the tires are actually going the opposite direction than they really are.
Well, this little meter does tell you that a temperature, and I think what it is the temperature of the room, not necessarily the temperature from the lights. No?
No, if it's a light meter, so I think you'd be measuring the temperature of the light itself in terms of the Kelvin.
It'll tell you if it's a harsh light or a soft light, but that's temperature is the same thing. Is it a harsh light or a soft light? And brightness, is it full strength or half strength? It's just find what go outside, take a reading outside, and take your meter and lay it on the rails and adjust your lights to achieve the same as what you read outside, and that's what you're going to get. That's going to be the most consistent way of doing it.
Well,
Steve, Jerry Cornwall in our group, and he's the lighting engineer.
Yeah.
He does museums and all kinds of large buildings and such. And he's putting in a new layout, but he's using these strip lights you get. I think somebody said Home Depot. Jerry has other sources and you can adjust. You can even do, down so it's like dusk and such like that. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, when they replace all their bulbs, they say, "Oh, look how bright it is now." But I'm the opposite way. Whenever I realized when I started looking through train books, I liked pictures that stood out to me, and I would gravitate to ones that were done early morning, late afternoon, when it's warmer lighting, more yellowish, if you want to put it that way, and backlighting, something like a steam. It just made all the details pop out. So consequently, I'm carrying that into my train room. I'm putting warmer lighting in because it just cheers me up. Being here in Canada, when we have our winter is much longer, I find that going down there, I feel like I'm in the dungeon unless I got that warm lighting, and that just kind of cheers me up. That's just me and going off on a tangent a little bit, but I like going on tangents sometimes. I'm a sailor.
But it's tough when you're dealing with the lighting. Like normally outdoors, if you're staying out in the middle of your yard and you're taking a picture of your garage and you got the kids in the shadow of the garage, you may not see them in the photograph because noontime light is a very harsh light, and you may not have things reflecting back on it. That's why a lot of people use diffusers instead of having spotlights above their layouts. They'll put in those diffusing panels to help spread it out. That way the shadows aren't as dark as a direct light. And also that's why people use bounce lights. A lot of photographers, if you notice, they'll have several flashes going rather than just one.
Yeah.
That way they'll have fill light or bounce light.
Yeah.
Father Ron.
Yes.
In the church, and this is not a religious thing. I'm talking about a commercial type of establishment. When you build a church, do they do anything for lighting? Do they?
Oh yeah, lighting's always a part of the consideration. when you've got that many people in a church, the people themselves absorb light. So when you crowd people into a church, say 100, 200, 300 people, you have to get the lights going to cover all of that area. We have to get the light down rather than out, because the people are holding worship aids in a church, for instance. In a hall, it's the same thing. So you want to try to get as much light inside the building. So you use white paint or beige paint. You try never to use dark paint because that just makes everything darker. So all of our light bulbs in a church, for instance, are focused downward. There might be a small light or whatever focused up, but most of it is focused down. The only time you would light the ceiling is if there's some sort of painting or something in a church ceiling.
But during a construction phase of a church, for instance, do the designers say, look, we need so much light on this part of so much light in the audience type of parishioners, we need that level of light, and your place. And I'll bring Doc in here, the same. He's got a restaurant and a bar, and I'm sure that they have some kind of a lighting thing that they create atmosphere, and I'm just wondering if that's all part of a planning situation.
Yes, for us in the Catholic Church, of course, most of the light is focused on the sanctuary area because everybody wants to see that. And so it's lit differently than the body of the church.
I mean, Walmart probably has a different plan where they want everything to be just as bright as it can be so they can see everything they're selling. I mean, Earl, you're building a layout. What are you doing for lighting? Are you doing anything special?
I've put the light in. I put the light in before I built the layout. That's first thing. What I have right now are 5,000K fluorescents, the little compact fluorescents. I have probably about 60 or 70 of them, about every 2 feet. And they're up behind the valance, so you can't see them. So that gives them a very uniform lighting all the way around. And I have a 9-foot ceiling there. This is in the basement. I had when I built the house, I had an extra layer of blocks stuck on there so that I have a pretty high ceiling. And I wind up with a very, very uniform light. Now, in the staging area, it's a little bit different because I don't care about the lighting there. The staging area is under a heating duct, and I just put regular tube fluorescents under there. And it's lit, but it's not uniform. It's not for photography. And I use 5,000K bulbs, and they work quite well. The thing with your eyes, if you look at something and you say that's white, your mind will make it white. You can't believe what you're seeing because your mind will change it. Cameras don't lie. I had some 3,000K bulbs at one time. That's the yellow ones. And I looked white. It looks great. Take a picture and it's brown. Because the camera doesn't lie. That's what I'm seeing. Now you can go to the white adjustment on my camera and adjust it to be white. But I have my cameras all set to daylight, to sunlight. And so the color difference is quite amazing. Now, one of the things I've thought about doing was going to a RGB strip light, and I can change the color to anything I want. So if you go to the evening, the only thing's going to be on is to be the blue lights. In the daytime, you can adjust it from blue light for nighttime up through reddish for sunset, and then bright sunlight you have to have a little microprocessor to run the frequencies and to change the current. You actually don't change the current; you change the frequency. The on off. It's a pulse width. To make an LED bright, you extend the pulse so it's almost on all the time. To dim it, you shorten the pulse so that it's off most of the time and then on. And you can set that frequency to so high that you can't see it. You can't photograph it even. You can run it maybe 1,000 cycles, 2,000 cycles per second, and your camera's running 60. Well, the camera, you won't see that pulsing when you do that. If you run fluorescence, they're on 60 cycles, 60 hertz, and you will see the fluorescence pulsing if you take a camera, take a video. So there's all sorts of things that you can consider, but right now I don't do videos of the layout, or at least so far I haven't. But if I did, I'd probably could adjust the frame rate so that you don't see the pulsing with that 60 hertz frequency, because fluorescents are on or off depending on, they don't go dim. Once that voltage drops below a certain level, they just turn off and they come back on when it comes at the bottom of the second half of the pulse. So anyway, I'm not a lighting expert, but I have run into all sorts of problems with it, and I have my own little solutions that have worked out.
Well,
Anybody else have
Dave,
anything?
Yes, Steve.
Dave Meek with Thunder Mesa Studios did an episode where he covered his lighting and why he had to add blue lights to his layout. I'll have to hunt that up again, because he showed, with the light and without, the differences and everything else.
Yeah, Steve, if you went to Home Depot or some big box store down there, whatever you put in your lighting, stay with the same product and be consistent.
okay.
Now, we visited our London O-Gauge Club, and they had gone to the LEDs, and they were able to change, just as Earl was saying earlier, they can change their lighting in the room. They turned off the room lighting and turned on the LEDs, and they were able to go from daylight to nighttime, all with these LEDs, and then into a thunderstorm where the LEDs actually did the lightning. It was very impressive to see. Now that is available, and it'll give you that 50K daylight that you want to do over your layout.
Wow.
So is that 5,000, not 50, but 5,000 to give you that natural daylight color. And then with a dimmer, you can go up and you can go down.
Well, I have Home Depot is my big box store close by, so I'll probably be getting their products and using them.
Anybody else want to talk about something? I think you hit this lighting pretty good, that's for sure. How about it, Steve? You think anything else?
Oh my.
One of the things, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring up is recently wired a layout, and it was supposed to be when the railroad track crossings come on. The lights are supposed to light like ding dong, and flicker back and forth. Now, can anyone that has done that type of wiring tell me there are 3 wires that come out of each crossing signal? One's black and there's 2 reds. How should that be wired?
Well, the two reds are going to be 5 volt, and the black is ground. And what you do is you have to put a say a 500 ohm or so resistor on the black line. And then you have to turn the lights flickering back and forth. I'd use the 555 timer and set that up to and go through a NOR gate so that one is on, the other's off, and if the timer will turn, it'll go up and down, it'll go from 0 to plus, 0 to 5, then hold that for some time and drop, and that signal goes to the NOR gate. The output from the NOR gate goes to one light, and the input to the NOR gate goes to the other light. So only one of them can be on at a time, and they'll flicker back and forth at whatever speed you set that 555 up for.
So do you have a wiring diagram that you can send to Gary to help him out with that?
Yeah, heck, it's all you took a 555 timer on the internet, and they're all over the place.
Yeah, like what I had done was I have
Optical sensor.
It's the old technology. It's not the new. Just 1 second.
He has those pickups in the track that turn them on and off, I guess. I got the same thing on mine.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you have different speed trains going,
yeah,
high speed trains, you have to turn them on sooner.
Yes.
Slow trains, you turn them on later, or else so what the prototype has, they have a block, they have a section. They time how fast it goes through that section. That tells them when they should turn the lights on.
Yeah, what I had done was these are Circuitron units, an FL2 for the alternating flashing, and the DT2 for the logic grade crossing detection. So I'd put those in, and I used the black as the common,
mm-hmm.
and then did all the reds to where they were supposed to go. But for some reason, the system won't work.
Yeah, I built all my own electronic circuits. So some of these commercial ones are so complicated I can't understand them. I take a look at them and go, what the heck? I can do this with 2 components, and they have 10 of them in there. What are they doing? I don't. All my circuits are real simple, and well, I shouldn't say that. Some will get complicated, but I just go with basic components and build from there, and typically just on a breadboard. I don't bother with, unless they're going to make 50 or 60 copies of it. I don't go to printed circuit boards.
I know I purchased one from eBay from We Honest. It's a complete circuit and also has 2 optical sensors going up on your track underneath. And as the train passes over, it turns on the system. And it's so simple. I just wired it up. I just put power to it and then run the power to this from the sensors to the unit. And it's all done for you. It makes it a lot simpler than trying to build one if you haven't done it before, I think, anyway. And it works fine.
Wow.
Okay.
So according to the schematics that came with the circuits, it's all wired the way it should be wired. And my main concern was the black common, and now it's confirmed by Earl. Black is the common.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
So it's wired properly, but for some reason it's not working now. This is pretty old stuff that this gentleman had, and I'm just wondering if maybe those signals, something has gone bad with those, because he's had them for quite a long time.
Well, if you treat an electronic circuit improperly, you let the magic smoke out and it stops working.
Like there was no smoke, nothing.
that's a trick from electronic people.
Nothing even heated up. Just
It's the
wait.
invisible smoke you gotta watch.
Boy, we really miss that smoke, don't we?
Yeah,
Got a smoke generator.
I have let the magic smoke out of plenty of components.
Oh my goodness. That's bad.
Oh, man. Okay.
I think we wore that one out too, Gary.
You never heard that before?
Oh. Anything else somebody wants to talk about? I know there's a lot of things we could ask.
Yeah.
Well, we touched on it with the kits that Steve were talking about, but I just want to comment that the 3D printing with the filaments has gotten a lot better. So I'm seeing a lot of people are not doing as much resin 3D printing because technology is finally catching up to the resin. But the filament stuff is, the lines are going away, the temperatures are becoming more consistent with the nozzles, and the filaments are are more consistent. But it's really coming a long way, I think. And so don't be discouraged if somebody says that they're printing them in filament, because there's some good stuff out there now.
Well, I showed this to the guys earlier on, but I'll show you what I'm working on right now. I'll say share screen. Share. Okay, tell me when it comes. There it goes. Got it?
In a minute. There you are.
There you go. That's the entrance, the first portion of a bridge I'm working on right now. There's no way in the world filament printer is ever going to be able to do that. So I still do resin printing. This is going to be I'm debating whether to make this in one piece or a bottom and a top. Depends on how I'm going to put the track in between the girders there. So, and this is all the details not in there. I still have to put cross bracing on top and bottom here, and this thing's been a nightmare. And it's still not right, but I wouldn't even attempt this with a filament printer. So that just, you know, I've yeah, I know it's gotten better. I've seen some pretty impressive models with the filament printing, but when you get down to detail with all this cross bracing and everything, I just don't see how it's going to work.
How about all the supports that you would have to have and that final work?
Oh,
nightmare.
it looks like a farce.
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't let the slicer do it. I put my own in by hand, and actually I'll do them in my CAD program, and I'll have little stems coming down. And then when I put it into the slicer, he'll just pick up those stems and drop them down, because otherwise it goes crazy. It goes absolutely berserk.
Don't you have an odor problem too with the resin printers? The odor?
No, I don't. No, the resins I use don't have any odor at all.
Okay.
I use them from Ceratec, Ceratec or Ceratec or whatever it is, and I mix my own. It's I use their primary one I use is what they call Build. It's a clear resin, and they call it an engineering resin, but it's too brittle. So they have another one called Tenacious, which is not rubber, but it's amazing. It's flexible. One guy he made a little figurine out of it, put it in a vise, crushed it flat, took it out of the vise, and a day later it was back to its original shape. I said, that's pretty cool. So what I do now, I mix about 15% of that Tenacious with my Build, and it's still not perfect, but it's a pretty good impact resistance. I can drop the thing on the floor and it doesn't shatter.
Wow.
That's the big thing with resins. Most resins are very, very brittle. And I've busted a few by dropping them on the floor. But this stuff is a significant improvement. I might take it up to 20%. tenacious, but so far I haven't seen a need to.
I know one thing, you have to be extremely careful when you remove those sprues from the main body.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And especially if that is old rosin. Like I had those kits for the sawmill I built, and I found that when I cut them away, I had to be very careful. Otherwise, it would take everything else with it. It would just bust it all up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. When you cut them, you hold the cutter at an angle to the sprue, so it doesn't push those two pieces apart. It cuts. They just flex.
Yes.
Yeah. I've blown up a couple things like that. Yeah.
Yep. Oh. Are we running out of subjects? Can't be. There's all kinds of things to talk about in model railroading.
Well,
maybe we need a break here for a second. I'll see if I can play the video for the college part.
I had a comment for Steve Sherrill. I didn't hear anybody mention using a siding, scored siding for his boxcar. So I use 1/32 inch scored siding, like from Northeast Lumber, and just use a light coat of Indian ink, alcohol Indian ink, just to give it a little color to it, other than just that light tan color. And it works really good for that. And you can get it really thin, 32nd of an inch, and scribed in 1/8, quarter, 3/32. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different size, different thickness, or different widths of scribing that you can get it in. So I use that in my boxcar. Works really good.
We'll take a quick break here. I'm going to play the one for the scholarship program, then we'll come back.
The New Tracks Modeling Mentoring Scholarship is the only national scholarship for model railroaders from a volunteer nonprofit organization. For academic year 2025-26, we are awarding 3 $2,000 scholarships for model railroaders pursuing a STEAM degree. We hope to award a similar number of scholarships for the 2026-27 academic year. We believe it is critical to support the next generation of model railroaders. You can support the New Tracks Modeling Mentoring Scholarship by donating online using the Zephy platform or directly by check. All donations are tax deductible.
Okay, fellas, take it away.
I
catch you off guard.
Steve, one of the things I was going to ask you about the kit that you're reviewing.
Okay.
Does he produce models in HO scale?
He does not.
He does not.
I don't know whether they would or not. You could probably talk to Ryan or Bob and see if they would do a run like that. Both of them. Well, Bob's on here all the time. I don't know. He's not on tonight, but it'd be worth asking. Right now, they're doing this stuff in GN15. Ryan is. Plus, they're coming out with like this new kit here, the boxcar, and some other things. So they're always updating their products, and they're also improving them. As a problem will come up in truck design or something like that, they will then improve it, as they get input from other modelers who they're always willing to improve their products. So you could always ask them,
Some of those little box engines they have, those would be nice little shunting engines in HO scale.
Yeah, and of course, I always think all you have to do is dial in the scale, change the dimensions and print it out. But that's not really what happens. There's still some design involved. I was over at Bob's house last week with Steve Bittinger, and he just showed us a whole bunch of things that he actually designed the grill work for one of the G scale diesels that Steve was scratch building. And he even designed, not only to design the grill, but he designed the slight angle that it was necessary to go on top of the model, And I thought that was kind of, for somebody who designs that kind of stuff, that's probably nothing. But for a layman, that seemed pretty miraculous to me.
Can you show us some of the new ones he's got besides that boxcar, Steve?
You have to go to I don't have any right now.
Okay.
We have to go on their site.
Okay.
They put everything in there. I'm actually going to Ryan's tomorrow, and I will probably get some surprises. He said he has a whole box of stuff for me. So some of it is first run stuff. They made one of this kind of thing. Last year, I sent a bunch of that stuff to England with the modeler, and then the modeler brought up stuff from England to me, and we just traded off internationally. I sent some stuff to Australia when Ian Fangus was here. He brought some stuff over, so it's a way that we get to know each other and share.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very small world when you think of this stuff. They did not send internationally, mainly because the postage is so extravagant right now. It costs more than the kits to mail something. So
we found that out for sure, especially over here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but if you go on their website, they'll Carroll Creek Designs. They've got everything listed there. And as they come out with new stuff, they'll be showing it. One of the things that they did come out with is this control box. I think Bob talked about this earlier, and this is now on their site. And this is kind of neat. And it opens up the back for a 9-volt battery. And they say that this will run one of the little micro layouts 18 hours with a 9-volt battery. So, and then it has a plug in the back like that. So I actually, some of the stuff are my ideas that I give them, and they just run with them. But heck.
Anybody else got something to say or want to talk about? Or what are they building on their workbench?
So I have something.
Go ahead.
I got a building from a friend of mine that passed away. It's a wharf thing. Let me see if I can bring it up here. All right. Can you see that all right then?
Yes, the building?
Yeah. So, and it's, of course, I have it. People talk about using stir sticks, so I thought I would try it. This building was just painted like a boxcar brown. He had over-weathered everything, so I tried using stir sticks and staining them. And there we go. You can see that a little better. So, and this is how it turned out. And I used a little bit of fine sandpaper. He had the roof way over weathered, so you took a little sandpaper and went to the roof to just to knock down the dark color of it a little bit. and you can see, and so I made the doors so that they open and close. I just have like a piece of rod here that I drilled in either end, and then the doors will slide here also. So you
Pat, can you make him bigger? Can you put that up bigger?
I can make him bigger. Yep. Just hang on, David.
Please.
So I can get a little closer if that helps too.
Yeah, thank you.
Does that help?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you can see where the door will slide. And again, this will open, both doors will open. So this is what it looks like. So this is just square tubing that I cut a slit in from one end to the other and bent a little piece of brass that you can see on the top that slides inside of that.
That's nice.
Very nice.
So that'll allow that to. Jeez.
And that's all done from popsicle sticks, eh?
Well, I used a real scribe siding for this. I think this is 1/16 of an inch, and then I used real thin. I think I used HO. What was it? 10 by 4s or something. 4 by 10, 4 by 8s or something like that. So it's it's thin. The equivalent would be probably a 1.5 or 2 inch board by 6 inch that I just put on top of that, and then I took the saw and scraped across it a little bit and just used alcohol and Indian ink, and then to change the weathering a little bit, I'll take a piece of 80 grit sandpaper. I have little pieces, and I'll just whoops, sorry.
Ah, you hurt me.
Sorry,
live show.
Just take a little bit of the sandpaper and scuff across it, and it'll take a layer off of the wood, and also give it it'll make this grain show up a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks nice.
So
nice.
What scale is that?
scale, I'm 30.
Oh, it's all okay. 30. Okay.
Nice.
So, and my engine in the background there that I'm working on, that I did the little piece on, and then when sometime down the road here in the next couple weeks, I guess we'll do a little more.
My build.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure. So, yeah.
I like that building. You're doing a fantastic job.
So it was the first time trying with the sticks, and the trick is to try to hide the thickness of the stick so it doesn't look like like a stick.
So the wood, is it wood roofing on that, or is that a tin?
It's aluminum. It's supposed to represent corrugated steel.
Okay.
And that's what it is. So it's a stamped out aluminum. It's really thin. I'm not sure where he got it from. So and it's really thin, and he put a lot of brown on it. I mean, way too much. So like I said, I took some sandpaper. I used two different grits, 80 grit, and then kind of to smooth it out a little bit, just some 220. Just
nice.
very lightly went across it to knock it down a little bit.
So you're gonna have a hoist out there on that beam to pick up the bales of hay with?
Yeah, I will. So the other end, I got a platform here. It looks similar, and it's probably going to be for the railroad.
Okay.
I haven't quite decided. It kind of depends on, this is going on a module, and it kind of depends on how much room I have on the module, how it's all going to come together.
The hole in the roof, is that for a chimney?
There was a fireplace in there. I think he repurposed the building, and I think it was a house with a chimney in it because it had lap siding on it. And again, it was dark brown, and so I kind of sanded it and put a little bit of alcohol just to make it look a little weathered.
Nice.
It had a big fireplace in there, and I took the fireplace and the chimney out because this is going to be sitting over water, and it wouldn't be, to my thinking, wouldn't be real accurate to have it that way. So, and it's going to be a Florida scene, so I really don't need a chimney in a Florida scene.
Just lots of crates with fish in them in the front.
So this is going to be on a river, and it's going to be typical of Florida and this type of scene. So it's going to be around 1930, but it's really more representative of the late 1800s when the steamboats plied the rivers and picked up all kinds of like fruit and vegetables, citrus, whatever was available to trade up and down the river.
Doing a good job.
Thank you. It was.
Anybody else have something to show? Or anybody got any questions?
No,
I
that's
do.
a-
I have something to show just real quick. I was working on this model that I'm going to show, and I wanted to have some other way of doing the mortar. And I was watching YouTube, and I just happened to come across an old, I don't know how old, from Greg Cassidy's YouTube. And he talked about distressing crayons.
Crayons.
And I had never heard of such a thing. So I don't know if Greg is still on or not.
He had to leave early, unfortunately. He's got
Anyway.
something to do tomorrow.
He's not on. I've used his distressing crayons, and they work very well.
So you can kind of make out, it's a Monster Models laser cut wood kit. They just call it their yard tower. I like the international style flavor of the building. So I decided to kind of do it in a blue engineering brick color. And I used the gray. They don't go very far, which is the problem. And getting individual particular colors so you wind up getting a bunch of sets of stuff. So I may have to use them for something else. So anyway, so I got at least the first level down, and then you can see in here, I decided to do a little upgrade on the canopy, use some brass hanging and some of these.
Nice.
It's like I did the cable or the rod, and then I was like, how am I going to get it to stick to the building? So I put it up in front of some tube, and so it's interesting. This model from Monster Model Works, it says it's S scale, but it's pretty big.
For S
like
scale?
I put it next to a couple of O scale things, and it would probably work on either. And I contacted Monster Model Works about it. I mean, it's the size that they say it is. And Jimmy there was like, yeah, it was a really big building. It's weird. So I don't know. It works, but anyway, I thought that was kind of because, and I was like, oh, that was a different thing, because I always have like different ways of doing grout. And then this one that's in front of me, I did another different way.
Wow.
This one, I used Bragdon's powders on this one.
Really makes a difference.
But put the powder on dry and then sprayed it down with alcohol.
Makes it run a little bit.
And it fills it in and sets it. And at first I was like, ooh, I'm not sure that I like that. And then when I hit it with some dull coat, killed it perfectly, and just dropped it right down where I wanted it to be. So I think that method is a keeper, because I've tried applying it as a wash, and you get more of it on the surface than in the small grooves of the grout.
Mm-hmm.
So
that blue that you put on there, is that those pencils, are they like a water-based pencil or watercolor?
The blue itself is just paint. It's just acrylic paint. The gray sort of overtone and what got captured in the grout lines is the crayon. And
Okay, yep, yep. I got some of those. Yeah.
That's what it is. And Father Ron, I don't know if you've heard about this, get a kick out of it. So I bought a couple of packs that have a mix of colors, and I didn't have enough. So I bought the same exact pack, 2 more packs. And the gray, it's got the same product number from the same company. It's a different gray.
Yes. Yeah.
It's slightly different. And I just kept going with it.
Nice.
Smushed it around, and I'm going to put some more weathering on it. And it, you can't really, like, I know where the color is, but no one else is ever going to tell. But the blue itself is just acrylic paint. I had scrap. I wasn't sure how I was going to do the blue or what the color was. So I had wood scraps from another brick model. And I tested like this blue, that blue, primer coat on top of blue, with this color blue on top of that color blue, until I got to the one that I liked. And I wrote each one down, so I remember how to do it. So it actually has a gray primer on first, and then there were like 2 different color blues, just blue acrylic craft paint on top. So,
Bill, one of our Franciscan brothers here was a bricklayer before he became a Franciscan. And he mentioned to me that when they have to color the mortar for bricklaying, it's never the same from one batch to another.
Oh God, no.
So
yeah.
It would stand to reason, unless you're doing something very methodically on your building, that you're going to run into different colors of the mortar anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm an architect, and I just 2 years ago, we finished 1 million square feet of space in Duluth, Minnesota, and the outside of the entire base of the building is brick. And, modern time, that grout is manufactured in someplace, it comes in buckets, is exactly the same color.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing was, it was laid up brick. It was like 6 stories of laid up brick. And our design team had done a very complicated pattern of like 5 different colors of brick. And the subcontractor for the brick, they printed it out full size in color and taped it up the side of the building so they could get, brown, light brown, gray, red colors. So one day I was out there for the site visit. I'm like, okay, they just did that. Yeah. Anyway, funny story.
You were going to show us something else. Did you have it there to show us?
No, I didn't have anything. Just this other one that I was showing. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
anybody else have anything?
Yeah, no, there was one more thing. So none of these buildings come with interiors. So I always hate looking. I don't have lighting on my on the layout, but I may at some point. And there's enough light in the room that you can see through the windows. And I always hate not seeing a floor. So I always put some minimum of floor in or whatever. This particular building, I guess I'm going a little bit over the top with,
that was a good shot.
That's not my, I don't know who's that. I don't know what that is.
Oh, somebody else did. Okay.
As somebody showing inside the windows. But this particular building, I'm building glulam beams.
Oh yeah.
To go across the top. So this was my 3.5 mock-up, trying to get the arc and how I was going to do it and how much over it so I could sand it down. And I noticed when I was gluing them up, I have to flip it around because it gets a little wobbly. But this is just a piece of wire stuck in the middle, and it's going to go, across inside these. So and then the rest of the building. So I always make them so that the roof can come off. So at least the roof can come off. And
good.
Anyway, so
So somebody
That was
else is
it.
showing something. I
Yes,
want to see that.
Stu Grelnick here.
Yes, Stu.
I got a picture of a wall. This is for a flat for the back of my layout. But what I've always used for, I don't know if you have to highlight that or I need to share it.
No, it's
Is it
good.
big enough? Okay.
It's good.
This is actually HO scale because it's a background flat. But I've always used tempera paint. I always use Crayola brand because what I'm doing is I'm using black Crayola and white Crayola and I mix them to whatever gray I want for my grout. The nicest thing, the important thing about tempera paint is you can put it on, you can let it dry, you can come back a day, a week, a year later, as long as you haven't oversprayed it with a clear flat and wipe it off. So where a lot of these grout materials that people use, especially if you're using like paint, once it sets up, you never get it off. On this stuff, once it sets up, then I can come back with a damp cloth and then just start wiping it off to get it to whatever I want it to be.
What's the base material there?
This is a resin or plastic wall unit. I think a Walters from a Walters kit, but it doesn't matter. I use the same technique, whether it's hydrocal, plastic, resin, wood. But for the Crayola brand, the reason I picked that is their black tempera paint is actually a black pigment. Some of the other brands of tempera paint and other paints, they make their black up with different colors. So if you're wiping it with a damp cloth, you'll get some color separation on it, where with the Crayola I don't. But this is something I learned from another builder, and he told me never to tell anybody. Well, that thing's gone.
Well, we just have a small group tonight, so
yeah. But anyways, Crayola brand tempera paint. You can
next idea.
Rust-Oleum paint, on for the building, but this is just washes off with water, a damp cloth, and it's real easy to use. Then just overspray with a clear flat.
Nice job, Stu. You can always learn something. Always. Somebody's got a different way of doing things.
Yes.
When you're getting that,
go ahead, Gary.
When you're getting that grout, that white grout effect, is that going on after you painted the wall?
Yeah, I painted the wall whatever brick color I want. Let that set up. Like I say, I use Rust-Oleum primer, but I used to use it on other. The only thing you have to be careful of, if you use an acrylic paint that'll wipe off with water, that's not going to work. Where the Rust-Oleum, it's not going to wipe off with water. So I get my brick on, then I come back, I mix my gray, whatever color I want, just slop it on, literally, wipe most of it off, and then let it set up. After it's set up, I come back with a damp cloth, and I can wipe a little more off to get it to whatever grayness I want. And I've always found it to be a real nice technique for showing off the grout.
Very nice.
There's a good shot of it. So it's using, the brickwork is already in whatever the wall is.
Yeah, that's impressive grout work.
Easy. And I'll use the same tempera paint. If I do like a stone wall, and I'll just randomly paint the stone colors. If I want a real variated stone colored wall, I just splop on paint. I don't even try and get it into, the individual stonework. Then I'll come back with the tempera paint again and put that on and wipe that off. And what that does is it tends to gray out all the colors of the stone. It'll tend to wipe off some of the individual stone colors because I'm using just acrylic craft paint. And so I get a nice general
color variation in my stonework.
Very good.
Here's this is the piece that was done. Well, where is it? Oh, my camera's over here. So there you can see the stonework. So by wiping it off, then each individual stone is going to have variation in the color. And then the individual stones are going to be different colors. But again, I don't spend a lot of time. I'll sort of do this different stones, but in real life, different stones have multiple colors in them sometimes.
What model is that, Stu?
This is a hydrocal piece. I don't know who made it. Can you tell by that?
You have to hold it still there so we can.
Tom York Building.
Okay. Yep.
Nice. Very nice.
There's the other side of it. And then my roof is the corrugated metal that I would just cut into small pieces first, and then spray it with the Rust-Oleum, different shades of Rust-Oleum browns and blacks. And then when I put them on, I just generically put them on. And then this is probably all dust. Yeah.
It looks realistic with the dust on.
Yeah, it does.
Quick, don't coat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold it on.
Anyways, so and then here's the brickwork again for the chimney. I don't know if that's going to focus.
Too close. You're too close. Back up there.
There you go.
Beautiful.
So it all kind of blends in different ways.
Nice. Nice job.
Thank you.
Oh, one other comment back to last week's conversation that as an American Flyer guy, high rail guy, I ran my first DCC system and locomotives on my layout this week. So
good
there
for
you
go. Good for you.
So, I think a couple months ago, gentleman was on, he was talking on one of the S nights, he was talking about the different ways of control, like AC and TMCC, and, he's got all these different ones, and that's fine. So, Lionel American Flyer of a certain age group has very complicated electronics in it, where it will run, a locum will run on AC, DC, or DCC, depending on what it senses in the track. And I have several of those engines. So my great plan of attack when I started my layout 2 years ago was to build an AC layout to get it running, because that's also stuff that I have, and wire it as if I was going to move to DCC. But I have those engines. So I got to that point where I finally got an NCE 5 amp system, got those engines, got them hooked up. They were running AC before, just moved the wires over, got it hooked up, ran one loop on one night, got the next loop the next night, and now I have to work on switches and then go into the great decoder switch off, because I have a bunch of other engines either from American Models or S Helper Service that are all DC motors, and it's a matter of just ripping, disconnecting some wires, taking out the chipset that's in there that converts to AC power, and putting in the decoder, and done. So I'll have a whole bunch more once I get to that. So
you have to show us how you did it on a blind build.
Yeah, that'll be a little learning curve for me. Yep. Yeah, so that'll be something though. Anyway.
Anybody else has something to show?
Sure, Pat.
Yes, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I like that.
What do we got? What was that?
There's a
Here
switch.
we have
And
an F scale stub switch, and the tie sets is all 3D printed because, of course, you can't get Fast Track's.
ties.
Yeah, well, you can't get the thing that you stick all your parts in and then solder it all up
Oh, yeah.
for this size. Doesn't exist. So I designed the ties on the computer, printed them out, and then got some 1/4 inch aluminum rail, bent it to the right shape, spiked it all down, made if I can get that in there, the harp stand.
Nice.
That's all in there. And yeah, so you can see where the sections are, right? So there's a tab here to overlap and another tab here to overlap, because of course my printer's only so big. There's no way I could do this in one shot. So I had to print a whole bunch of parts, glue them together, and then like I say, make all the rail parts for it.
Nice.
And then of course painted it because it's just basic black filament.
Yep.
So that's all painted up to look like wood. Now I got to install it.
How many you got to make like that?
I'm probably not going to make too many. I have a curved one that I'm building currently. That's the new one. And it's huge. It's a massive switch because it's the outer curve is 6.5 foot radius, and the inner curve is a 5 foot radius. So it's a huge switch. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to put that one together.
I know on O-scale they're big enough, a number 6 curve, and it's huge. So I can imagine you double the size of that. It's going to be a big switch.
It's at least double the size of this one for sure. Yeah, it's huge. So that's going to be the next project on the agenda.
Good.
Yeah, is that switch, or is that your track? Is that for outdoors or indoors?
It's going to be for indoors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I suppose it could be used outdoors, but I'm trying to put together an indoor layout using 1/4 inch rail, so it's a little bit more scale looking than the big outdoor, 0.333 height rail, which it's great for reliability, but doesn't look great.
Right. Well, I agree. You threw me in when you said 1/4 inch rail, and I was thinking, well, that's full scale.
That's, yeah, I see where you're getting at with that one. Yeah.
That would look nice.
High.
What's that, Pat?
It was a 1/4 inch high on the rail.
Yes, code 250. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Code 250, code 332 would have been really big.
Yes.
I know that's the other one I used to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to manufacture that.
At the printed ties, how it would react to the the UV rays outside. And I don't know where you live. I assume you might be in Ontario.
Yes.
Yes.
And with the temperatures and everything and the conditions we have up here, how would it stand up?
It gets bloody hot out there. This is PET G. It should hold up.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of times this summer where I was, middle of the day when it was, 32, 33 degrees, which would be 95 down in the US, and touched the rail by accident. It was like, ooh, I could cook bacon on this thing. This is hot. And of course the ties weren't melting. I was kind of surprised they weren't melting, but yeah, it was hot. So whether that could stand up to that, I'm not sure.
Right.
I think it would be okay for the UV, but I'm not sure about the heat.
What type of equipment are you running with your stub switch? So
show them one of your engines.
I'm into the 1870s, 1880s type stuff.
Okay.
So I like my old timers.
Are you building your engines?
I have one that I built myself, my scratch built locomotive, and then I've got two of the Bachmann, one American, one Mogul.
Okay.
I got some other stuff as well, but those are my main electric ones.
It's all going to be radio controlled too, is it not?
It's all radio control, yeah. Yeah, battery powered radio controlled dead rail.
Good.
I'm trying to revive an outdoor railroad. It's over 20 years old, and it was all hand laid track.
Oh, that's a big job.
So
Been there, done that.
it lasted 20 years or more, and I decided to take it up. It was still okay. I laid everything on spline. I did the way I make my railroads indoors. I use spline road bed. So I did
What
that
did you use
outside.
for the rail?
I used, I was brass. Was it 230?
Code 250 or code 332?
250.
Okay.
Yeah.
I manufactured it in aluminum at one time. I don't know if you remember that.
I had some aluminum. Don't know where it came. I always went down to Ray Lonsbury down in St. Catharines, and that's where I was getting a lot of my stuff through there. But I took up my hand laid track because every spring I had to drive all the spikes back down because the frost would lift the spikes.
It's like the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we have this. We're standing. We have to fight the same elements as the real railroads do, and we're a lot smaller. So
well, that's why I'm building hand laid indoors, because then I don't have to deal with that mess.
Yeah. You must have a lot of space because you said the radiuses that you have to.
It's not a huge amount of space, but it's going to be a point-to-point layout. I think when it's all said and done, it'll maybe be, I don't know, 65 feet, 70 feet from one end to the other.
That sounds interesting.
There we go.
I like that era. I'm moving back an era.
That's longer than my house or my property.
The longer this gets, the farther back in the era in railroading I'm going.
Well, I could walk you downstairs and show you the rest of the stuff, but
I'd love to.
Maybe some other time.
Yeah.
We got time yet.
Unless everybody's done asking questions.
If you want to go down there, we'll get back to you in a minute or two and you can show us.
Sure. All right.
Excellent.
I'll shut the audio off and head downstairs.
Sounds good. Wait till you see his stuff. Oh,
Show your locomotives, Larry.
oh, he's going to.
Or Mike.
His layout is longer than my house.
Yeah.
He lives in a big house.
Nice home.
I live in a row house.
Join the crowd. We still got a little bit of time yet, so we've been on now 8:45, so we're doing pretty good, I think. Everybody enjoying the show so far?
Yeah.
It's different.
It's great.
It was like the early days.
Yeah, that's the way some of them still do it like this, but
okay, so that is my scratch built locomotive.
Oh, nice.
It's beautiful.
Do that again and put your hand up next to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Here, I'm going to highlight you. Just a minute.
Well, it's 120.3 scale.
Yes, F scale. Yeah, FN3. Yeah.
FN3.
Yep.
There
I just highlighted you.
Right.
Nice.
Nice job.
So that's the scratch built engine.
Beautiful.
Then we have a Bachmann Mogul sitting on the that's the project there that's coming soon, is the turntable for this space. Right now it's just sitting on a piece of flooring mounted on the turntable. But that's a Bachmann Mogul that I've completely super detailed, made all the decals for it. Made a new headlight for it, new stack for it, new cab for it. The cab's 3D printed. That's turned on a lathe. That's 3D printed. Like I say, I made my own labels. Now, where's
Did you have some of your cars, scratch built passenger cars, up at Schaumburg show?
Yes, I did.
Ah, there they are. Okay. I know your work now.
Okay. And then
those are beautiful. I love those.
That's the latest one, is the Combine. That was probably done, oh boy, when did I do that? About 4 years ago now, I guess. And then the passenger car.
Yeah.
Behind it.
I love that board and batten car and the arched windows. It just that era just appeals to me. Then if
Yeah,
all-
yeah, it's really interesting. I have the files ready to go for a matching coach. I just don't have I don't have access to a laser cutter at the moment. So, yeah. And then that's the rest of the collection.
So what kind of
stuff.
material did you use to make those coaches out of?
That's polystyrene, 1 and 2 millimeter polystyrene, all
Nice.
cut in various layers.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of that. Nice.
Mhm. Yeah, it goes together really nicely. And while we're standing here,
You're still highlighted.
there's the switch, the curve switch. You can see how big that is. If I stand it next to me, I'd say it's over 5 feet tall.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a long one.
There it is, over 5 feet tall. That's a big one.
My goodness.
So the layout's going to end over there where the locomotive on the turntable is. And then it comes around the corner here and goes out through the wall over there. So of course I require a trestle. And then that's where it's gonna go out into another room. So that's why it's got the ability to be a bit longer.
Very nice. Thank you for
very
showing
much.
that.
Nice.
Yeah, just to let you know, Mike's cars that he did, scratch built, they were judged and he got his merit award for cars.
Oh, I can understand. I saw them at the Schaumburg narrow gauge show years. I fell in love with them. They were beautiful.
Thank you.
Anybody else got something? We still got a few minutes to go.
One of the things, I don't know if anyone out there does those flat sheet 3D puzzles. They end up being trains, airplanes, ships. I don't know if anyone's ever built those.
The ones you just sort of snap together.
Well, it's
No,
not really snapped together.
Well,
no, it's not a snap together. It's you take the pieces out. You've got to go like
the metal ones or wood ones.
Metal.
You know, these are they come in from China, Japan, those countries, and they're flat sheets, and you convert them into 3D models.
And you got to follow it step by step,
Yeah.
and don't jump any steps because it won't work out if you do.
You mean like this, Gary?
Yes.
That's
The
them.
The Metal Earth ones, yeah. I tried one time.
That told me everything.
That says it.
You'll notice that mine are still in their containers.
Yeah, I see that. I see
The other
that.
things I've seen I like is these, I was going to say little roomettes, but they're little shops and Victorian shops. And, you know, their interior has all the interior and the doors open and whatnot, but it can be like a little Victorian bookstore with a little iron spiral staircase going up because there'd be like mezzanines or walkways along the different bookshelves and things like that. They're fantastic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's another hobby altogether.
Well, along that line, my father will be 90 next month, and he does stuff in N scale. He makes little paper models in N scale, and he just put together one of these wooden, I don't know, a zillion different pieces. It was a locomotive engine, steam engine that my sister got for him, and like it's not even stuff I would go near, and I don't know how he does it. So power on.
Good for him. Excellent.
Anybody else got something?
Hi, this is Bill.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking for a sound chip for an engine. Anybody got any old ones laying around?
What scale are you working in?
ON30. It's a Bachmann 44959 plug and play chip. And I just bought an engine and it didn't come with a sound chip, so I need one. So anybody has one lying about, I'd really appreciate it.
They're
So
not cheap if you're buying the whole sound system. It takes powers your engine as well.
no, this is just an add-on sound card. It's about 1.5 inches by 1 inch, and it's a sister board. It just plugs right onto the DCC board that's in the tender, and it sits on the fingers.
What make a locomotive? What company made it?
Bachmann. It's a Bachmann ON30 060 Baldwin switcher, and all the works are in the tender. And it's got speakers and everything. Everything else is in there. All it needs is a stupid little chip. So
I don't know.
They are not to be had. I've searched the internet for several days, and everybody's out of stock. So I've got to find one either somebody that's taken it out of their system and put something else in or whatever. It's my only hope at the moment. So anyway, but thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. And I went to the micro meet in Mapleton last weekend, and that was a treat. Those little micro layouts are just so fun. It's unbelievable. Golly.
Steve will tell you all about that.
Yeah, well, Steve was a reason I went was to see if I could see Steve. I met Steve at the Harrisburg show this year, and was hoping to see him again there in Mapleton, but he didn't make it. But I met Bob from Clear Spring. So and there's a couple that's doing 3D printing, and they're making little figures. And what they've done is they've 3D scanned half the people in the Mid-Hudson group. So they've got little low gauge figures of each of the members that you can buy for sale. It's a trip. So a lot of fun, and they're doing marvelous work. So it was a lot of fun.
Bill, in January, we're going to have one at in Ranson, West Virginia, which is pretty close. It's only a couple hours from you, maybe an hour and a half. Last year we had 30 micro layouts here. And you also get to visit my layout across the street if you're lucky. And the guy who's making those 3D people is Les Davis.
Yeah, he and his wife.
Yes, and they'll be here also.
Yeah, they're delight. I chatted with them for a while.
Yeah. So
yeah. Is there a circular out for that, Don? Steve?
Build a micro layout.
Yeah.
Love to see you. Hey, it only takes a circle of track and a piece of wood. You're home.
Yeah, well, my piece of track is a straight piece. Unfortunately, it's 6 foot long, and right now it's almost totally covered with equipment. So I gotta do a real estate buzz and take over more space in my shack here. So.
Hey, you could always bring the 6 foot piece. You can always have a backward and forward.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. So anyway, but thank you. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. How are you enjoying it so far? Is it okay?
Oh yeah, it's a kick.
Good.
Yeah, I've got 3 engines now. I've got a diesel that I put a sound chip in, and I got a Haskell 260 or 262 rather tank engine. It's a Australian. They call it Puffin Billy, and they run on a Puffin Billy railroad over there in Australia. And that's a dandy little engine.
Nice.
And I had that chip and sound card put in, and I also have a Bachman 40 with the sound system in it. So anyway, I can make all kinds of racket. All I got to do is turn the power on.
Thanks,
By the
Bill.
way, Bill, you don't need that chip from Bachman. You can get a Genie sound system, put a 8-DIN plug on the end of it, and plug it right into the board. And you use all the lights and everything that Bachman has already into the locomotive. And you could then just plug the speaker, and you'd be going. And it's DCC and everything.
Yeah, well, there's got to be some kind of an adapter set up from the 21 pin connector to the 8-pin that your Genie board uses. So
maybe he could send you a diagram of how he did it. Got his email?
Yeah, Steve, you want my email? I could give it to you.
Sure.
Yeah, WEM.
Hold it. Let me write this down. WEM.
CC.
BC?
No, Charlie.
Oh, CC.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oscar Uniform Radio Tango at yahoo.com. So it's my initials and my last name.
Okay. So I've already converted those engines, you know.
Yeah, now see, if you had the old Bachman piece, I could buy one from you and you could recoup some of your expense.
Well, I had those and they were okay, but they were very expensive, and we did it for like half the price.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, I'm interested in that, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right, I look forward to hearing from you.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug.
Okay, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Wow.
Anybody else out there want to say something while we have a chance?
You got the caboose?
No, I haven't got it. I think you guys have seen all. I could play one, but I'm not sure if you saw them all. You want me to try one?
If you're going to end the program, you could play a caboose, and
yeah,
that'd be nice.
Maybe somebody else has got one they'd like to show. You never know. Let me see if I can play one.
Yeah, doggone it. Keep doing this.
No, I don't have one to play for you guys. Anybody got one out there that want to play?
I don't know. Hold on. I'm looking for one on my layout.
I got rid of them all because they're all old ones.
Come on, video.
I used to have one on my layout, but I don't know where I could find it. I see you looking in your glasses. I can see.
I've got some videos, but I've also
Anyone will do, and then we'll call it for the night.
I got a lot of pictures too.
We had quite a few people tonight watching. That was kind of nice. I saw Doc left early. I was going to ask him how he's doing on his bridge.
Huh. I don't know where they are.
And you had great audience participation tonight.
Yeah, it was over 42 people overall with YouTube and on here.
I like the comment of it. It was like the old days.
Yeah, everybody had some ideas to give, which is what you want.
Looks like Bud is working on something there.
Yeah, I was going to ask him what he's doing. What are you working on, Bud?
Where to go? Okay. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
HO.
Nice little building.
Yeah. And here's the There's a track that leads up to it.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a
I'm
handcar shed?
consolidating a mess.
Handcar shed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it right, Terry. Have you found anything yet, Steve?
No. I don't know where it is. The boys are looking for it. I find it.
That's usually the way it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it a good shot tonight, guys, and I
Excellent job. Super.
Yeah.
thank you.
You
And
did a great job.
actually, I enjoyed it more than the structured stuff.
Don't tell Tom that.
I saw Jim was on it first.
He was. He left early. I was going to
Yeah.
introduce him to
I
you
thought we
guys.
were going to hear something from him, but
Father Ron's going by. He might.
Yeah.
I don't. Did you send that up there?
yeah, something just went.
It's
That
one
was
of
Father
the
Ron
reactions
sending up a
that
waving
you can
hand.
choose.
Oh.
Down at the bottom,
Yeah.
like there's this one.
Yep.
Mm,
I like that. Yeah. Emojis.
I don't know where.
Look
I'm
at the bubbles
computer
coming
illiterate.
up.
I can't do anything else. This is the way I do it.
Yeah, that's the best way. There's my caboose right there. Shoom. Well, has everybody had enough? I think I can call it tonight.
You can call it tonight. I'll find those pictures after we get off the air.
Well, I can wait another few more minutes.
Well,
No
you
problem.
might wait longer than that. I don't know. I don't know where they
You
are.
used to have a couple.
Well, I've got plenty of pictures, but and I've got videos also. But
Oh, I wish I had my video. I'd show it to you guys.
Yeah, it's like to get up and see your engine house, Pat.
Oh man,
Just
it's
getting
going to
away.
be in
That's
the
not-
magazine. The NMRA magazine's going to be printing on my
MR?
layout. It's going to have the whole thing.
Good.
I was quite surprised. She sent me a letter saying, "We're going to put it in." I said, "Wow." So
And when did you send it in?
that was way back just after Christmas.
Well, that's pretty. That's
It takes
pretty good.
about right, you know, and
Yeah.
and then they said they'd put it in sometime in the near future, and pretty near, I guess.
Yep. And they had lots and lots of stuff back there. They did a coverage of the DNR, Delaware and Rutland Model Railroad in Toronto.
Okay.
It's a HO Railroad.
Mhm.
And they just kept putting it off. They paid us for it, and they never went to print with it.
Well, it'll be in there, guys. I got a letter from one of our members. They found out why we in Ontario didn't get our NMRA magazine in August. Did you get that one, Gary?
I got August, haven't got September's yet.
Well, August you
The
got?
September and October's are out, but I haven't got September.
Well, August they had a problem with. I guess they didn't get it out till late because the guys got it over here and then they turned around and sent it back. Then they had to turn around and send it back again. It's crazy. I couldn't understand that.
What, you mean customs or the border?
Yeah, somehow or another it got all messed up and the whole batch went back to NMRA and then they had to turn around and ship it back again. So you can imagine what it would cost to send all that?
Yeah.
Oh, the distributor up here had a mistake and he sent it back by mistake. They rejected it. Crazy.
This
No.
is Stu here. I had a nice surprise. I got a call from a guy asking me about one of my barges, how I made them. And
Oh, really?
I'm thinking, where did you find out about my barges? He saw it in No Scale Resources.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was going to be published in there. It was when we did the thing on
Nice.
water. So thank you guys for having my stuff, those pictures put on No Scale Resources.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Wow, that's good.
What scale are your barges?
O Scale.
Oh.
Nice. Nice.
What's your company name?
Model Building Services.
Okay, I hadn't heard it.
Yeah, I advertise in O Scale Trains and O Gauge Railroading. I can show you pictures of them, some of them.
Are
on
they
the layout.
scales, rail barges, or what?
No, these are, well, they're a variety.
Okay.
Wow.
So there's a work barge.
No scale. Okay.
Scale. With the small tugs from Frenchman, River, and
spotlight you.
some of the other ones. Another barge is that.
Yeah.
Sorry for the shakes. This one is covered barge that they run around New York City.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're all because I run RC tugboats in the same 1/48 scale. These are all I can run all these on a pond.
That tug right there?
No, not these tugs, the barges.
Oh, the barges, yes.
Yeah, these are just waterline tugs.
Yeah.
No, my RC tugs are full on.
I have an RC boat on my layout that's cut into the water. I have to cut it in because it's an RC boat.
Yeah.
You
I guess Steve's got us a video. This is it, guys. This is our caboose.
Maybe if I can get it going.
Come on, start that battery job up.
I forgot how to get it going now.
Push the little arrow that you got in your video.
Arrow.
At the bottom, there should be a little bit, like a double line, and then there's an arrow. The double line is a pause, and the other one's a start.
I don't see it. Where is it?
Just click on the picture. Maybe it'll take off for you.
Oh. Uh-oh. What's that? That's not.
Just hang on. Just hang on.
No, that's me. How'd I get?
I'll spotlight you. There you go.
God. No, I got to go all the way back now. Forget it. I have to go and find it.
Nice try. Anyway.
Well,
fellas.
Night,
Hang
John.
around for a few more minutes. I don't mind. If you want to go, just let me know. How do you like that one for a rhyme?
Good show, gentlemen. Very good show. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Good night, guys.
All right. Catch you later, Gary. See you, Stu. See you, Larry. See you, Earl, Rod, Bud, Richard.
Yep.
I
I'll
enjoyed
take
myself.
off too. Take care, guys. WF1L Bill in Dover,
Okay.
Delaware.
We'll see everybody later.
Okay.
Thanks for a good show.
Thank you. Everybody take care. I'm going to stop everything.
Stop that recording.